What's going on, everybody? Good morning, good evening, or wherever you are, and whatever time it is, and welcome back to yet another video with your man, Immersioholic. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another online battle for the Medieval Kingdoms 1212 AD mod for Total War Attila. And today we have a very awesome battle replay with the Kingdom of France, played by my good friend DanTheTTT, aka Dan. Versus Billy the Kid, 17, once again playing as the Ottoman Sultanate. We have the Kingdom of France versus the Ottoman Sultanate. This is going to be a very badass matchup. We have some very big armies here. That I believe they're using ultra funds in this battle. And we have a very large battlefield as well. Despite this not actually using the larger battlefield submod, I think it's just battles in the 1212 AD mod are just really big, because this feels to be like it seems to be like it's way bigger than vanilla Attila. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the battle. Let's start off by checking out the French roster, and then we'll check out the Ottoman roster shortly after that. So of course, before we do begin listing off the unit names, please do be aware that I will absolutely butcher the French pronunciations as well as the Turkish and other nations, but French in particular is not my specialty whatsoever, so please bear with me as I try to pronounce these units' names. But anyway, starting off with the left-hand flank of the French formation, we have a large contingent of shock cavalry. We have two units right here of the Sergeants à Cheval cavalry. They're a mid-tier shock cav unit, very solid, not bad at all. And then to the right of them, though, we have the Guns d'Armées, or Gens d'Armées, very heavy. Well, it is just listed as a heavy shock cav, but I would call it a very heavy shock cav unit with a rank 6 XP boost. So these guys have way more morale than normal as well. So they're going to be basically almost unbreakable, really. They're going to have to be entirely killed off. In front of the cavalry, though, we have a Benz de Picardy mid-tier pikeman unit, just a single one. To the right of the formation, basically between the left and the center of the French, is a halberdier unit. The halberdiers, des Communes halberdier unit. They basically operate in the same manner as pikemen, but they're more mobile, and they share a similar animation. So as far as I could tell, their roles are similar to pikemen. They just have more maneuverability. So almost kind of like a hoplite, but in the medieval time period, obviously. But yeah, not a bad unit at all. Very maneuverable, like I said, considering, well, at least comparing that to pikemen. Moving to the center of the French left, though, we start to see a mixture of more infantry-focused units. So we have two sergeants or sergeants, swordsman units right here. Mid-tier swordsman, very nice. We have another Benz de Picardy pikeman unit here. Then in the rear, we have some Culevriniers. Culevriniers? Holy crap. I cannot pronounce that for anything. Basically, we have a mid-tier handgunner unit. So this is where we're starting to see muskets getting involved in the medieval era. This is going to be some very early tier musket usage or handgunner usage. So these guys, I'm still not quite sure how powerful handgunners are in the 1212 mod. I have used them myself and they've been quite powerful, but for online battles, I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see how well they perform. Continuing into the French center, though, we have a corps of spearmen. We have some Bavossiers levies, so some very levy light tier-esque spearmen. And they're just basically taking up the entire center here. We have one unit there. Are these all the same? Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those as the core of the French main front line. Behind them, they do have some support there. So they have some more mid-tier polearm units, like a halberdier unit, I should say. We have the other medium-tier handgunner unit right behind them in the dead center. We have some more sergeants right here as well, ready to come in, or sergeants. And then the right-hand side of the levy spearmen, we have even more halberdiers coming in, more sergeants again, 2 units of those. And then more pikemen as well. So we're basically mirroring each left and right hand side of the French formation, which is very interesting. Before we continue to the right flank, though, let's bring it back over here and check out the rear of the French formation. Looks like they're going to be basically relying on their skirmishers to do a lot of the killing against the enemy formation, because obviously their levy spearmen won't. Their levy spearmen are in a deep formation, so hopefully they'll be able to handle any cavalry charges that come their way, but they have to be in a deep position. If they're not, cavalry can just barge right on through them, as we've seen in our previous online battle that I've already covered. So the French do have 3 units of archers along here. These are the Frank archers, just a mid-tier bow archer unit, nothing too special. Then we have some crossbowmen, Frank archers crossbowmen. So yeah, they have the same name, but this is just a crossbow variant. Crossbowmen obviously being more dedicated to armor piercing, whereas archers will have longer range. And then we also have the French general, way up here in the back, Roy de France. Heavy shot cavalry unit, very heavy. Very powerful, very well armored. And unless, oh yeah, got a little crown on his helmet, very cool. Not bad at all. But anyway, let's move to the right of the French formation. On the far right, we basically have the same as the left. We have another mid-tier halberdier unit. We then have some sergeants à cheval, so mid-tier shot cavalry. We have 2 of those. Is it? Yeah, it's just 2. And then we have 2 more of the gens d'armée cavalry, which is the very heavy shot cav on the far right hand side. And then we have some more pikemen behind them. So basically the French consists of a cavalry and pike heavy left and right flank, with the center being skirmisher focused, combined with like a levy and pike halberdier formation, really. I mean, they have swordsmen intermixed in certain areas, but it seems like they're going to be relying on cavalry and skirmishers to do a lot of the actual killing of the enemies, while the halberdier units try to hold any cavalry charges coming from the Ottomans. But anyway, let's jump to the Ottoman side and check out their formation. So on the far left hand side of the Ottoman formation, we have a little cheeky setup here. We have 1 unit of knife throwers, aka the Humbaraki, or Humbarachi. And they are combined with a halberdier unit, the Peak Guard. A pretty lightly armored variant of the halberdiers, but because they're in their formation, they should be good enough to do their role of defending these knife throwers, who are obviously going to try and help the Ottoman cavalry over here win the cav fight on their left flank. We do have some Yensieri Baltacalar, 2-handed axemen. Quite a lot of them actually in this army, a lot of 2-handed axemen. I'm not sure if they're all the same unit or different variants, but we'll get a look shortly. Interesting that it's out here on its own, has no support besides cavalry up here in front of it, but yeah, I don't know. I'm guessing that he wants to try and use the 2-handed axemen to try and help win the cavalry fight as well. Speaking of cav, the Ottomans then have their Sipahi cavalry, the Capicolo Sipahi cavalry specifically. These guys are very heavy shot cav, but they also act as horse archers. So this is essentially the cream and butter of the Ottoman army when it comes to being at least elite tier. They're elite tier cream of the crop, and they have a lot of them. They have 3 units over here, but there are more in the army. We also have the Ottoman general, or Ottoman sultan, I guess you could say, over here on the far deep left-hand flank, Capicolo Silata cavalry. So only 50 men in this unit, very heavy. And they also have bows as well, so still be a useful unit, although you don't want to get it into combat too early. And then the Ottomans also have more cavalry over here, the rest of their Sipahi in the center rather than on the far right-hand flank. So they're actually adjusting their formation a little bit, so that's really interesting. Looking on the center left of the Ottoman army, though, we have 2 halberdier units at the front, both of which are Peak Guard. We then have some more axemen, 2-handed axemen, 2 units right there. And then behind them we have another halberdier unit. Oh, this is a mid-tier one. This is the Voynuk unit. Not too bad at all. Mid-tier polearm unit. And then they have the light tiers in front of them. Very interesting. I'm guessing he's trying to keep his more armored units in reserve to avoid the skirmisher fire of the French. And then, of course, behind that left-hand group, and then also basically the rest of the army, the Ottomans have a really large contingent of Zirhli Janissary archers, or Janissary archers? I wonder if that's what that is. Does Janissary mean Janissary? That'd be interesting to know. Ottoman history lovers, please let me know. What does that word mean in the center? Yenikari. Be very interested to know. But anyway, these guys are basically borderline elite tier archers. They're very heavily armored. They have good melee stats, and they also act as archers. And they even have a shield on their back, so very heavily armored indeed. And he has a lot of these bad boys. Woo! 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Very heavy on archers for this army. That's very interesting. I would have expected more light infantry maybe from the Ottomans. Bit of a light infantry spam combined with cavalry, but no. It's going quite heavy on halberdiers. Some good amounts of cavalry with Sipahi. And then we have a lot of archers in the rear. But anyway, to the center of the Ottoman formation, we then have three units of the Voynich polearm units. The mid-tier halberdiers. We have 1, 2, and 3. And then behind them, we then have swordsmen. Vladislav Lakiki. This is the mid-tier swordsman. Let's get a close-up of these bad boys. Wow, they have a tiny little shield right there. An orthodox-looking shield too. I wonder if these guys are like Bulgarian units or something. Maybe Greek. That's looking like it's giving some Polish vibes, perhaps. But anyway, basically a really cool mid-tier swordsman unit that should be good at cutting through the enemy. Although, because they're just mid-tier, they're still not going to be all that powerful, I imagine. For the Ottomans, it seems like most of their killing power is going to be cavalry and bowmen. So, very kind of similar goals for each army, although their composition is very different. And then on the far right-hand flank of the Ottomans, we then have 4 units of Despot spearmen. These guys are heavy spearmen at least, so they're not just light levies necessarily. Quite heavily shielded as well. Wow. These guys are looking very badass. Really like that armor. The cool contrast between their black armor and the colored shields is very nice as well. Like, look at that detail. Wow, very, very nice. But anyway, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We've looked at both armies. Let's now start the battle. Keep in mind, timestamps are in the description, as always. This is going to be a long battle, so I will be skipping through parts when necessary. Especially considering how large the battlefield is. But we are seeing movement orders come out of the French side right now. Keep in mind, France is played by my good friend DanTheTTT, aka Dan. And Billy the Kid is playing as the Ottomans. I know that's something that you would definitely expect to hear someone say one day, but let's start to put on fast forward initially, just as we wait for armies to get closer to each other. But right now, they're both just moving forward slightly, especially the French. Alright, so it's been a couple minutes. The French have advanced pretty far forward. They're actually squashing their army composition to basically be a more denser positioning. They're going to be using these rocks to cover their rear and their flanks. The French have also sent out a large contingent of their left cavalry, in fact all of their left-hand flank cav. And on the right, it looks like we're going to start to see the first blood of the battle begin here, with the sergeants à cheval leading the charge for the French backed out with Gens d'Armée. The very heavy shock cav of the French taking on the Sipahi. Horse archers are moving forward to begin their skirmishing, and here we go, the first blood. Sergeants à cheval are taking fire from the horse archers of the Ottomans. Very powerful unit that the Ottomans have. Very good shock cav, but they also have skirmishing capabilities, so gonna be super interesting to see how well the French can handle this. Dan is either not carrying his cavs taking hits, or he's just busy maneuvering elsewhere, but essentially it seems like we're going to slow motion real quick. The initial engagement's got to be on this right hand flank while the center holds of the French. Yeah, he's boxing himself in a little bit here just to protect his flank. But although he has moved to the middle of the map, meanwhile his left hand contingent is going way out here, so a bit of a risk separating the French cavalry so far from the army. The army itself has no support, really. If the Ottomans push forward, it would be a very interesting engagement. But anyway, it doesn't matter. That's not what's happening. What is happening is the Ottomans seem to be getting the upper hand on the right-hand flank over here. The French are starting to actually lose numbers now. Their hit points have fallen down considerably to the point where they're actually going to start losing men in each volley. Here comes the arrows flying in, those black tracer markers on the bows, on the arrows that Attila provides. It's taken a while to give the move order. He's lost 10 men. This is not good for him. Could be a major issue. Yeah, only one of the units of these two is getting hit. Well, that's probably a good thing. It means the Sipahi gets to concentrate their fire. Down to 67 men. Oh, there we go. He realized he's charging forward with the Sergeants à Cheval. The Sipahi are pulling back instantly. Nice micromanagement by Billy the Kid. Although the Sergeants à Cheval might catch the Sipahi. They're very fast. And not as heavily armored as well, so... But look at this, they're marching straight on into the knife throwers, the grenade throwers of the Ottomans. Can they come in big here? They have to help out. Oh, some of the grenades are coming out already. Sergeants à Cheval are very fast though, so by the time the actual group of knife throwers gets their shots out, it's too late. Bit of a wasted opportunity there. He needed to pin the cavalry of the Sergeants à Cheval before throwing. The knife throwers still have ammo, and it looks like the Ottomans are going to take this melee engagement. The French are coming in to support with their very heavy shot cavalry, though. Looks like they're swinging around. Nope, they're going that way. Axemen are coming in to help out as well. French are losing one unit. Another unit's almost gone. It's about to rout. But here comes the heavy cavalry. Oh no, the knife throwers! They're going to get annihilated! Oh no, that's terrible for the Ottomans. They just lost an entire unit in a single charge. The polearm units are not having time to deploy in formation. Although the gens d'armée are taking a lot of casualties. They're down to 40. Wow, holy crap, they're losing so many of their units. The Ottomans have lost one of their Sipahi units. Oh wait, did they? They have 3 here. I thought they had 4. Maybe not actually. No, they're all still going, but they have taken casualties. But yeah. French are obviously coming off worse for well. Here comes the charge, though. Ooh, who wins that charge? Sipahi, yeah. Sipahi for sure. Axemen there getting annihilated on the charge, though. These infantry need to be standing still so they can brace and help out each other. The Axemen didn't lose as many men as I thought, though. So it's not too terrible. French are trying to pull in and pull out. Good micromanagement by Dan, but... it's just a little bit too late for this right flank. The French have lost it. There's no way they can bring it back now. They're just trying to get whatever kills that they can. This is going to be a big deal, though. The Ottomans have essentially this entire left-hand flank of the battlefield under their control if they want it. Gens d'armée are coming back in, but yeah. 42 kills, and the other one had, what, 86? It's not terrible, but it's not good enough. Meanwhile, on the right-hand flank of the Ottomans, the French are advancing. Sipahi are charging in. They have not had the chance to skirmish against the French, so we might see better results for the French over here. 2-on-1 action there against the French. Do the French lose that charge or win it? Looks like they lost that charge. Yeah, their numbers are dropping really quick. Yeah. Just a little bit too slow with the French support for the gens d'armée to come in. Coming in now over there, although it wasn't the best charge. Needs to kind of swing around a little bit more to get better charges, but look at this. Ooh. Uh-oh, the Ottoman Sultan is getting charged right here. That is not good. Oh, wow. Oh, dear, that is not good for the Ottomans. He does not need to be involved in this fighting at all. Oh, goodness. Will he survive? This could be a major blunder for the Ottomans. The French heavy cavalry are just grinding it out now. They don't always have to get a good charge to do well. They can just grind down the Ottomans. 29 left in the personal bodyguard of the Ottomans, but they are having reinforcements come in. As are the French, though. The French are coming in. They're going to get a charge on these Sipahi. Oh, yeah, that unit's going to get annihilated on the charge. Woo! Yeah, Ottomans are losing that Sipahi unit for sure soon. Infantry are coming over to support, but yeah, the Sultan is dead. Oh, wow. That is terrible news for the Ottomans. And they won both flanks. No way. What a battle this is already. Are you kidding me? The Ottomans win that entire left flank and they do great. But just the micromanagement of the French on this right-hand side just came out to be superior. And they've just lost their Sultan. That's going to be devastating for the late game. But yeah, we need to see more swarming tactics against the French here. So we have a very interesting development occurring here. The French are basically forming a box around this hill here, but they've forgotten their king out here. Oh my gosh. The Sipahi units could kill the French general right here. Oh my gosh, they need to charge in, surely. Surely they'll try and get him. They're actually shooting their arrows now, so that's good. From both sides. Oh man, what a missed opportunity. Yeah, it's way too late. Imagine if they got that charge. Oh, that would have been funny. Oh, handgunners are coming in. Are they gonna shoot? Whoa, they get one volley off. Oh, that combined with the archer and crossbows. Very nice. Did the handgunners get any kills in that? Only a couple, but man, they shot nice and quickly though. Alright, what is gonna happen here? It looks like, wow, okay, the cavalry are actually gonna try and skirmish these guys? Seriously? That's interesting. I mean, they're gonna lose that skirmisher fight, as far as I can tell. Interesting effects there from the 1212 AD team. Pretty badass that we do have this in Total War Attila. But yeah, those Sipahi, they're gonna lose that fight every day of the week. These guys shouldn't even be fighting right now, in my opinion. I'd like to see these guys further back, actually, like here and here. Meanwhile, have the Ottoman army attack from the front. Pin down the French infantry and their skirmishes, and then you worry about trying to get recharges in with the cavalry. But yeah, French have a very nice position and they don't have to push. I mean, look at this hill right here. This is giving me some Empire Total War vibes, where like hills like this would like win you an entire battle. But right now the French have no cavalry really, so they just need to kind of basically pike box at this point. But the Ottoman cavalry is just needs to be more spread out. Their handgunners, crossbowmen, they are going to be able to get really nice kills on cavalry that's bunched up like that. I'm wondering if Billy the Kid is giving like a group attack order with his cav? Is he? No? Well, actually we can't see it because we're technically on the French team. As it was Dan who let me use this replay. Here comes some more cinematic shots going out. Wow. I mean, the Sipahi are getting kills with their archers, so... I mean, with the bow and arrows, so it's not terrible, but... I just think they could be used a lot more efficiently. Unless they're trying to bait out the skirmishers. Look at these crossbowmen. Holy crap. Because they are baiting them out, but yeah, Dan's smart enough to pull them back. Get him near his polearm troops to protect them. Really nice setup by Dan, by the way. For every skirmisher he has a skirmisher and then he has a pikeman unit or a halberdier unit close by. One of the two. So he has a really nice position set up with his skirmishers and other units. Meanwhile, the Ottomans are now finally advancing slowly with their infantry across the front. They do have their archers that are involved. They're in a loose formation. And it looks like they might be using extended shot to actually shoot at the French. So, what are they attacking? They don't have attack orders, it seems. Looks like the archers are just shooting into the formation. So, it's not ideal for the Ottomans with their skirmishes. They probably want to be doing like group attack orders on like the skirmishes of the French, crossbowmen, and then their swordsmen. Is what I would imagine they'd be focusing on. especially skirmishes. They can change so much in battles in this mod. The Ottomans have pulled back finally now with their cavalry, so smart play by Billy. He tried to skirmish, but it just wasn't going to work. 90% of the time, skirmishes of infantry will beat skirmishing cavalry. At least in such a setup like that. Ottoman positioning is not the best here. These spearmen are kind of bunched up, as are these halberdiers and swordsmen. It's not terrible by any means. Obviously, I'm no professional player myself, none whatsoever. Just giving some general feedback. Just adjusting formations slightly to be like a little bit more efficient could really help out. But anyway, across the front line, we're now seeing engagements occur. Heavy spearmen of the Ottomans on their right flank. In the center, we're seeing halberdiers come in with the spearmen, charging head-on into the levy spearmen. Light polearms versus medium pikemen. Who's gonna win here? Oh, pikemen. Pikemen should, yeah. Pikes are longer than halberdiers, so yeah, the Ottomans are really gonna struggle right there. Not ideal engagement that. You probably could just like keep this unit right here in front of the pike unit, so the pike unit can't move and support its troops, but it also has to wait for the Ottoman unit to attack. In the meantime, the French king has retreated back in their own lines, just as the Sipahi come around. So, nice micro by Dan so far. We're starting to see the levy light spearmen of the French get shattered here. Well, they're about to shatter. They're wavering pretty hard. Ottomans are not taking many casualties with their infantry. Like, what is this one unit wanting to waver for? 150 men left. It says that it's being attacked in the rear, which it isn't. It's just a French unit's probably like on the edge of it. So Ottoman morale is going to be at an all-time low. But these levy spears are just not doing anything. All they're doing is slowing down the Ottomans, really. Which I don't know if it's worth it or not. Sipahi over here targeting pikemen with their bow and arrows. Not a bad target at all. It's a good way to deal with pikes. It's time for the second line of the French to engage the Ottomans. I'm not going to zoom in too much because it is quite laggy when we do zoom in. This is like a 40 versus 40 unit army battle, although the French did bring more troops. I believe the Ottomans only had 30-something, like 34 or 5. French had almost 40 men, 40 units, if not, they did have 40 units, but yeah. The center of the Ottomans is deeper. They have axemen, which is perfect for cutting through these spearmen and swordsmen. And the most importantly, the skirmishes of the French are not dealing damage to the Ottoman infantry. They're being forced instead to come over here, try and deal with the Sipahi cavalry. So even if the Sipahis don't get many more kills, they're still doing well because they're denying the French advantage in terms of skirmisher firepower. Although, on this right flank, the French have actually outflanked the Ottomans somehow. Ottomans are just way too bunched up here. Oh, a little bit of an audio issue there. It's fine now. They do have crossbows getting involved, getting some kills. They will win against those archers if the archers don't change their targets. Yeah, looking to see the tide of battle turning against the Ottomans now. Oh, we have a gap forming over here. The Ottomans have broken through, but they've broken through to get a volley of handgunners to the face. Absolutely not ideal for them. French halberdiers coming over to plug up the gap. Looked like the Ottomans were going to be winning this for sure. Oh, look at that. They actually catch out some crossbowmen. Nice job there, but the pikes are going to get kills really quick. Yeah, they just lost the Sipahi unit there. Not great. Archers over here of the Ottomans are bunched up. French king is out. He's still being proactive with his king. What props. Very impressive that Dan is bold enough to keep using his king. It's just the Sipahi of the Ottomans are so spread out from the rest of their army. So he's sending one unit on its own, 2 more to come around to the left. Maybe chase down the king or the crossbows. That would be a really good strategy, but Somehow the Ottomans are actually being slowed down in the center, and they're being outflanked by infantry. That should not be happening when you have the cavalry advantage. But wow, look at this. The right-hand flank of the Ottomans is folding up. They're getting outflanked by pikemen right here. That's incredible, but look at this Sipahi unit. Oh, are we going to see a devastating charge come in? Yep. Good night, pikemen. Good night. I mean, crossbowmen. Oh yeah, that was a good charge by the Sipahi. They get the crossbowmen and they get the handgunners in a single charge. Nice usage. But look at this massive blob of Ottomans that have just retreated. The heavy spearmen are retreating. The archers are not getting the kills that they need fast enough. Although the archers are melee troops, so... I don't know. This is not looking good for the Ottomans. Looks like the French are going to bring this back with their core of infantry. Despite them losing a massive cav advantage. Wow. Sipahi trying to get these archers, but the archers are spread out, so it's not going to be instant charge and win. Yeah, the Ottomans losing their Sultan is causing just big blobs to rout that typically wouldn't. It's a lot of units that have routed that shouldn't have. At least not yet. Meanwhile, the core of the Ottomans is being outflanked. They're being dissected. And the skirmishers of the French are now able to get involved. What are these Sipahi over here going to do? That unit's just ground down. It's stuck, so that's not good. Charge into a crossbow unit. That's good, but they're going to get charged by the general. Or the king of the French. Halberdiers are close by to come in. These Sipahi are going to die here. That's my prediction. The French king might die too, but these Sipahi 100% going to die. They're getting attacked from multiple sides from skirmishers. And they have halberdiers coming in. Yeah, French king is running now. He's shattered. And he's dead. So it's good for the Ottomans. Oh, did he die? I mean, Sipahi? No, they almost did. Oh, they might still. Is my prediction going to be right? Yep, they're getting hit from that side now too. Oh. Dude. Keep running. Run, mate. Look at these waivers coming in too, because they just lost their king. But the Ottomans, they have no troops left. Their swords are down to just a few units left. The Sipahi have to get some nice charges in. They're going to get chased down by spearmen. Yep, that was enough to rout that Sipahi unit. They get a nice charge coming in downhill slightly against these archers. So the archers should rout, but I think it's over, man. I mean, the Ottomans do have these good archers out here that act as melee troops, but if they lose the rest of their front line, they're going to retreat. They're going to shatter, surely, right? The French are not moving fast enough to outflank the Ottomans either. They could be putting in a lot more pressure. Basically, need to be chasing down these archers, but they're not. At least not yet. I don't know. I mean, they're almost out of ammunition, but yeah, you can see that too. So Dan should know that they're getting low on ammo.
The men are broken and running for their lives.
Oh, yeah. Just saw a bunch of units right here for the Ottomans shatter. They're down to their archers and one single Sipahi unit. Oh wow, I can't believe it's come back to this. The French took a really nice position over here. They held the hill. Fought off cavalry attacks. Their king was proactive, although it did cost him his life. But the Sultan of the Ottomans just died early on to, honestly, a bit of a silly mistake. Ottoman's generals should not have been fighting so early there. 50 unit as a personal bodyguard means no matter how heavily armored they are, they're still going to die quite quickly and easily. Realistically, how is the Ottoman player going to bring this back? My suggestion would be charge the center, get these units stuck in combat, do not engage the pikemen there or there, only focus on fighting the center. Sipahi swings around. Or if he really wants, he could charge the entire front line of the French and then like sneak through his Sipahi in the center. Have them charge a weak unit like Wow, this is getting laggy here. That's weird. Oh, because there's so many dead bodies. Charge this weak swordsman unit, the Sipahi will make it through there, and then they can charge the skirmishers. Potentially. That's a really cheeky strategy that I probably wouldn't try, but I don't know, man. Start to fast forward time. Looks like the Ottomans are basically done for, though. GG's to both players. They both did great. It was a really fun battle to watch. Just some minor mistakes. And the Ottomans losing their Sultan early on and not getting the best bang for the buck with their cavalries really cost them heavily. Even there, like, that's not the best charge. 3 units on top of each other. Although they are targeting the center, so, I mean, it could be good. French swordsmen are wavering on that side. Yeah, they actually lost one, so Ottomans are breaking through. Sipahi is swinging around, possibly to target the crossbows. The pikemen of the French are being engaged here, so that's not good, but on the right they're not, so that's nice by the Ottoman player. French sword court is collapsing. No way. Nah, French still have it. French still have it. Surely, right? Sipahi get one last final charge in before they're about to rout. Very nice. They'll kill a few crossbowmen. I don't think that unit will shatter though. No, Sipahi are too weak. It was a nice good charge at the end there. Yeah, there they go. See you later. Crossbowmen is still alive with plenty of ammunition, as are the archers. These Ottomans are surrounded now. And unless they can, like, really pull hard and try to get the skirmishers, they're done. Nearly had me worried for a second there. These archers are doing relatively well though. They're surviving a lot longer than what I thought they would, but it's not a good charge. Needs to be better. Need to surround them. Not a good charge, and they're about to lose this unit here. The skirmishers of the French are having a field day. If there was no French skirmishers, then I would say the Ottomans could bring it back pretty easily, because they could just run around the polearm units, but nope. Ottomans are done. Here comes the shadow now. 10 seconds left. Wow. GG's, gentlemen. What a battle. A Pyrrhic victory for the French kingdom. That was a lot of fun. Let's go to the statistics screen super quick, then we'll end it there. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a super long battle, so let's just very quickly glance at these statistics. You can see right off the bat, though, the Ottomans only brought 30 men, whereas the French had 31, 32, 3, 4, 5, 36 units. So really, it's kind of funny how the Ottomans managed to surround the French just because the French lost the cavalry battle at the beginning of the match. I really appreciate, though, that both players, both of them, engaged in a separate cav fight before the main engagement. That's really immersive, that's really nice, and I really would like to see that happen more often in all kinds of Total War battles, where like each contingent of the army is split up and then they engage separately. That's really cool, and I really like that. But for the French, it ended up really backfiring on them, despite having so much cav. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 units of cavalry against 6 Sipahi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it was kind of surprising, but the Ottoman setup and the Sipahi cavalry themselves just was superior. They all did really good on their kills. What about the rest of the Ottoman army? Their spearmen didn't do very well. Not the best unit to bring. Swordsmen would have been better, but I mean, you know, it's not a terrible pick. It's just they didn't end up being cost effective at all. The Gnar throwers were a waste. Really cool idea, but unfortunately Billy just got unlucky with that, so bad luck to him. Although I don't think that would have changed the battle necessarily, but could have won him that left flank a lot faster there. Halberdier units kind of were a mixture of good kills and bad kills, so nothing too crazy about that. On the French side, all of their cavalry did pretty poor, especially considering they had rank 6. They had a massive boost to their XP, and you're seeing kills like 86 and stuff. That's nowhere near good enough. The Levy Spearmen, of course, didn't do anything, but they're not supposed to. The polearm units on the French seem to do really well. And their skirmishers, while they don't have a massive amount of kills, all of their skirmishers, most of them at least, have around 50 or more kills. And so when you add that up, it does end up contributing pretty significantly especially when they have more of. I mean, the Ottomans had their archers, which all did really good. Although a lot of those kills came in the end in the melee, but still, it's really a really close battle, which is really surprising. I thought the French would have won this a lot more easily, but the cavalry just got annihilated. And so, really massive props to Dan for bringing it back despite losing the cavalry advantage early on. Bad luck to Billy, he played really well as well. Just losing that Sultan early on really came back to bite him later on, where he needed that morale to keep his army in check. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I really hope you all enjoyed this. If you'd like to see more 1212 AD battles, please let me know down below. Especially if you would prefer to see field battles or siege battles, do let me know. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I shall see you in the next one.